We're gonna watch this video and we're finish the day out. Really, it's the last video we had to do. My wife has this game, so I'm excited to see her play it and have a good time with it. I know a lot of people have different opinions about this series and about certain things that we won't talk about, but I know overall, it's probably gonna be good. So I'm excited to see it.
We do not live in a world rich with
I
great
think
Harry
Parandy has
Potter
this too
games.
in chat.
Nobody harbors warm feelings for the horde of chintzy, cynical movie tie-ins that plagued the PS2 and Xbox during the mid-2000s. So, when Portkey Games unveiled the big-budget Hogwarts Legacy in 2020, it was clear that the studio was aiming spectacularly high with its interpretation of Harry Potter. After a 2-hour hands-on, I can say with confidence that the wizarding world has rarely looked better. The lilting charm, cockeyed whimsy, and high fantasy hijinks of Hogwarts Legacy is rendered with dogmatic servitude to the books, while the combat and exploration, the game...
The thing that's like the coolest thing about this really is the fact that we've never had a truly AAA experience put into a Harry Potter game. And it's kind of good that we haven't had a company take it on the way they should have taken it on a long time ago, because they're putting all their eggs in the basket here, and it looks like it's worth it because look, I mean the game looks phenomenal so far.
Game part of this video game is robust enough to rope in more casual fans of the fiction. Unfortunately, it's all happening at the exact moment the world is reconsidering their lifelong ties to one of the greatest stories ever told.
The world's been reconsidering the lifelong ties to J.K. Rowling for years. This is not new. People have had negative opinions of her for the last several years. It's been since Twitter was invented. Really, she's been on there doing crazy shit. It is not a new thing.
If you haven't been keeping up with the information drip, Hogwarts Legacy takes place in the late 19th century, and therefore it operates independently from some of the more familiar touchstones of Potter lore. No Voldemort, no Dumbledore, no multitude of Weasley surnames. You play as a fifth-year transfer student that will be built with a potent character creator, denoting complexion, hair color, eyebrow shading, and yes, body types, vocal tenor, and the choice to be referred to as either a witch or a wizard. Afterwards, you'll be quickly implanted directly into the day-to-day scholastic rhythms of Hogwarts. My time with the game was brokered into two major sections. A treacherous story chapter where I was asked to both infiltrate and destabilize a nefarious dragon cockfighting ring, and a dulcet afternoon on the castle grounds, where I solved side quests, played minigames, and soaked in the Persona-like splendor of simply hanging out at school. The combat was the highlight for me.
That's probably the coolest part.
Expecting. In previous Potter games, the Quicksilver Wizard clashes of the books are reduced to dull, rote, third-person shooting galleries. Harry, Ron, and Hermione taking on an endless series of identical Death Eaters who all seem to brandish magical facsimiles of shotguns and sniper rifles. Hogwarts Legacy changes the formula considerably. Despite the projectiles ricocheting back and forth across the arenas, the game functions more like a Ninja Gaiden-esque combo masher. Your character automatically locks onto wherever they're facing, and the hocus-pocus that comes cascading out of your wand can be chained together like a screen-filling, health bar-obliterating Marvel vs. Capcom tsunami. Game director Alan 2 compares the system to a sort of long-range dueling.
I really want to see someone like really good, I'm talking like expert level, play this game. I want to see the depths of what can really happen in this game. And I don't think I've actually seen that yet. I've seen a little bit of it. Like, I've seen someone play a Death Eater versus a lot of guys, but like, I want to see someone just like absolutely decimate the NPCs in this game. I want to see it so bad, and I haven't seen it yet.
Arsenal is mapped to the face buttons, and after messing around with the controls for a few minutes, I was able to come up with some wild, improvised concoctions. I'd Leviosa my enemy into the air, tag them with some basic filler casts, pull them in close with an Accio before setting them aflame with the Incendio. The physics engine absolutely revels in your chaos, Bodies fly across the map like they've become weightless and boneless at the mercy of your command. Harry Potter video games have tried and failed to replicate the fiction's unique take on spellcasting for decades. Portkey seems to have established a structure that will likely be aped for years to come.
Mind the water!
My stint wandering around Hogwarts itself wasn't quite as exciting as my trip to the Dragon's Den. My
I hope you can
enjoyed
toggle
a
off
peaceful
damage numbers. I don't want to see
back at
damage
home
numbers.
on the back of their flying broom, the Roach of Hogwarts Legacy, where they poked around nooks and crannies of the castle, soaking up collectibles, deciphering basic puzzles, and completing the menial tasks assigned to me by my classmates. One of them accidentally put a charm on her books that caused them to flutter around in the air. I Akio'd them back into her possession. Outside, in a courtyard, I joined a round of what can only be described as wizard's curling. My adversary and I used our wands to usher a set of leather balls down a wooden platform. The closer they got to the edge without falling off, the more points we'd score. These distractions were pretty lightweight. Portkey didn't allow us to delve into, say, potions class or a meaty side quest digression, which left me hoping that Hogwarts Legacy will include some finer character moments outside of the core campaign. Let us broker a genuine camaraderie with the other denizens of the school. A Harry Potter game can only hit its marks if, by the end of the runtime, we're willing to lay down our lives for a kindly groundskeeper or an eccentric headmaster. It should also be said that Hogwarts Legacy appears to be swimming in the darker edges of the canon. It was shocking to see that one of the spells on my combat hotbar was Crucio, better known to the layman as the torture spell, which inflicts searing white-hot pain in its target. In the Harry Potter universe, Crucio is one of the 3 unforgivable curses, a huge no-no. Perhaps these are the themes Hogwarts Legacy intends to deal with. How did Crucio become unforgivable anyways? Some of the finishing moves equipped my character were similarly macabre. After charging up a meter and tapping the 2 shoulder buttons, my avatar could reduce a rival wizard into a pile of sooty Looney Tunes dust.
I mean, it became unforgivable because it's torture, right? I mean, that's just the basic theme of it.
The Harry Potter books are centered around the purity of teenaged friendship, so it is weird to watch a 5th year take a life. Again, maybe Hogwarts Legacy intends to explore some of those questions. On first brush, though, it's pretty jarring.
They must have only just captured her. She's putting up quite the fight.
Of course, anyone who chooses to play Hogwarts Legacy must contend with all sorts of contradictions, most of which are far more important than the usual dissonance we tend to find in video games. J.K. Rowling has established herself as one of the most prominent anti-trans mouthpieces on the planet. The character creator in Hogwarts Legacy offers a huge amount of gender diversity, but that cannot change the fact that the author of these books remains the proprietor of the Harry Potter intellectual property.
Yep.
If purchasing this video game feels like a tacit endorsement of Rowling's retrograde worldview, nobody can say you're wrong. I spoke with Alan, too, about these questions during my visit, and you can read the results of our conversation on IGN, but you're not likely to find a clean answer to those concerns.
Yeah, that's the roughest part, man, is like, for a lot of people, this was their childhood, and you love what's in your childhood. It's like enjoying the Bill Cosby show for a long portion of your life and then being told that Bill Cosby is a terrible person. Like, what do? You know, it's really hard to disconnect your love for a family that's fictional for what real life effect that person had on the world. And it's the same way here with like these characters in the story. Like, a lot of people want to live in Harry Potter's universe. It's the same way with World of Warcraft. A lot of people want to live in Azeroth, but we all know of the scandals that happen there, the sexual assault and the other violations. It makes you not want to be associated with them and not want to support them in any way, right? But it all comes down to your own personal happiness. And that's how I feel personally. Is the most important thing at the end of the day is how you personally feel and what gives you the most comfort, because you only live once, right? And to the people who are getting hurt, I'm sorry. It really sucks. And the people who just want to have a chill experience and don't want to be involved in drama or things that hurt people, I'm sorry too. Everyone gets fucked on every side.
It looks like we're finally getting a good Harry Potter game. Shouldn't it feel better than this? For more on Hogwarts Legacy, check out the official cinematic trailer as well as some Dark Arts Battle Arena gameplay. And for everything else in the world of video games, stick with IGN.
All right, guys. We'll be right back and we'll start some Temtem. Thank you so much for hanging out and watching. And we'll be back in